2021 is going to be about vaccination, and the pharmaceutical companies are in that business. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about potential investments in the pharmaceutical sector. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Julien, Regoli, CPA CMA finance coach. I teach people how to save money, how to invest money, and how to think about money. If this is the kind of topic that interests you, then sign up to my channel and hit the bell button. You'll be notified whenever I upload new videos. And by the way, this will be provided in a link in the description of the video, so you don't have to take notes. So just pay attention, don't bother writing notes. So here's the ticker, the name, the description of the ETF, the expense ratio. If you saw any of my other videos, I explain what this is. It's basically what it costs, to manage this fund. You can see that it ranges from 0.35% to, that's the low end, to 0.60%. And the dividends vary. You can see the lowest here is 0.46% and the highest is 1.59%. The dividend is an annual amount. And then this is the amount of assets that these ETFs hold. Most of them are in the 250 to 350 million range. This one is a bit of an outlier. You'll see in the graph, First Trust NASDAQ Pharmaceutical ETF. It's been performing really well, but it's relatively new and it doesn't have a lot of assets in there. And the expense ratio is higher relative to the other ones. It's new because you can see that the management tenure is, so that's how long, the key management, the people managing the fund, how long have they been there. You can see some of the older ones have 13 years, 9 years, and this one has 4 years. This column here, GWAP ratio, that's the weighted average P ratio. This is really a price, the average price of all the stocks in these ETFs divided by weighted average earnings. And you can see that this one stands out, PJP, this one right here, PJP, so the Invesco Dynamic Pharmaceutical, it's lower. Inception is the year when the fund was created. So you can see that it ranges from 2005 to the more recent one, the FTXH 2016. Okay, so this is a graph of these ETFs. So you can see, so in 3 years, who has performed, you can compare them basically. If we take this one out, so if we take our newbie here out, we'll be able to look at more of a longer term picture of performance. So for example, 5 years and eventually 10 years. So you can see that this one, the IEH stands out at 35.89% compared to the others. In 3 years, it's XPH. And in 10 years, interesting to see that the PJP, which is Invesco Dynamic Pharmaceuticals, has performed the best, 282%. This gives you an indicator of a comparison of the different ETFs out there in the pharmaceutical industry. If we add back our newbie here, you can see, the timeline changes. But you can see that newbie has done relatively well, so it's quite significantly better compared to the others. So this gives you an indication of the different pharmaceutical ETFs you could choose from if you were interested in investing in the business of vaccination. If you're more into dividends, this one may be something you're more interested in. It's got a low expense ratio and the highest dividend yield at 1.59%. That's VANEC. So if we take a look at that, in 3-4 years, it's the one that's performed the second best. It's not bad at all. So that could be a nice option. So if you want to go aggressive, you could go for the FTXH, but again, it doesn't have a lot of assets under management, doesn't have a long track record. And if you're interested in something that's maybe more conservative, PJP is something you want to look at because it has a low P ratio relative to other ETFs in this sector, and it's the oldest one among all of these. I added also the S&P 500 index here to compare. So you can see that the pharma industry has really lagged compared to the S&P 500. And maybe with the need for vaccination, this sector will catch up in some way. If we look at over 1 year, PJP has performed better the S&P 500 over the past year, and the third best, which is XPH, and the S&P Pharmaceuticals ETF is third, so very close to the S&P 500. If you look at just January, the pharmaceutical industry has outperformed the S&P 500. If we look long term, pharma has been lagging behind, but if you look at the more recent trend, you can see that pharma has actually been doing better than the S&P 500. So there you go, folks. Hopefully this video was useful. If you have any questions or comments, just drop them in the section below the video. If you want to book a one-on-one with me to talk about your situation, to talk about an eventual investment that you're looking at or considering, book a one-on-one with me. You can find the link to do so in the description of the video. Folks, thanks for watching, and stay tuned because I'm going to cover some other ETF investments that could benefit from the vaccination need in 2021. So stay tuned, sign up to my channel, hit the bell button. You'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon.